Welcome. We're often regaled with stories about how cold it is somewhere, or that it's had snow in at the usual time of year, or there's some record being set that temperatures so well below average. However, it turns out that most of these things are not true, or at least for every one example of those, there are many other examples of where it's hotter. In fact, it's so hot in some places that global cooling is becoming a joke. It's 3 weeks before the beginning of summer in Washington, D.C., and we've hit 94 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a new record for the day. And the heat index has been well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The western states are in a state of severe drought. Redding in Northern California hits a record of 109 degrees Fahrenheit. This shattered previous records by a whole 6 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's no relief at night, it still stays fairly warm. Temperatures in the Middle East have soared to a record 125 degrees Fahrenheit. 5 countries joined the 50 degrees centigrade club, that's temperatures over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And the heat wave has lasted 3 days so far. Europe cannot escape the heat waves either. Europe is hit with its first heat wave of 2021. The Iberian Peninsula had record-breaking temperatures exceeding 35 degrees centigrade. That's 95 degrees Fahrenheit. There was record heat all the way up into the Arctic Circle. Countries affected included France, Portugal, Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, and most of Eastern Europe. Hong Kong has been hit by record high temperatures. Highs have reached 33 degrees centigrade, that's 92 degrees Fahrenheit. In the last 7 days, the ratio of record highs to record lows has been 14:1. In the last 30 days, it's been 2:1. Same for the last year, and that's been that way for a number of years going into the past. Month to date is 14:1, and of course, that's been a relatively short month. Year to date, it's been 1.3:1. And you can do that for monthly records, and they all favor high temperature records over low, everything from 2:1 to 6:1. And you could do the same thing with all-time records, and for the most part, with the exception of year to date, the high temperature records outshine the low temperature records. The only one being the exception is year to date, where it's the other way around. But this basically means for every time you hear somebody going on about a record low temperature somewhere or record snow somewhere, there's at least 2 examples of the opposite being the case somewhere else that they're failing to mention. What conclusions can we draw from all of this? There seems to be no sign of global cooling and every sign of ongoing global warming, with record high temperatures outshining record low temperatures by a margin of 2:1. This is exactly as you would expect it to be on a planet that is continuing to warm.